Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson, who wants an Obamacare fix. Senator, always appreciate you being on New Day to make the case.
Morning, Chris.
Is this a simple question of reality? That yes, the AC has problems, the AC-8 always had problems that needed to be addressed, that weren't addressed, and has it come down to repair, not replace?
Well, first of all, when I talk about repair, I'm talking about repairing all the damage done by Obamacare. Obamacare has created this enormous mess, this big mess, and I'm trying to fix that big mess. I don't think Obamacare is fixable, quite honestly. And the other reality is, we only have so much power to repeal just certain elements of Obamacare through reconciliation with 51 votes. The taxes, the subsidies, but so many of the market reforms, I would call them the market distortions that have caused premiums to skyrocket and out-of-pocket maximums and deductibles to skyrocket. Those, we're probably going to need 60 votes, and it doesn't sound like the Democrats are really willing to bear the responsibility of the mess they created. So when I'm talking about repair, I'm talking about repairing the mess caused by Obamacare.
So when you say mess, let's just take one step about how much of that is just a talking point, because you got tens of millions of people that are covered now that weren't covered and wouldn't have been covered.
The rate of cost.
The rate of cost.
A lot through Medicaid.
Well, right, and if you got that financing, you're going to have to figure out how to get those people care, right? Because that was a solution. The rate of cost increase.
Chris, it was interesting. Phil Graham wrote an interesting piece in the Wall Street Journal. Just through normal economic growth, millions of Americans would have gotten additional health care coverage. So I think the claim that Obamacare created so many more people with coverage, a growing economy would have done the same thing. Here's the mess.
I saw the Graham piece, Senator. He didn't say it would have been even. He didn't say it would have been even.
On the individual market, premiums have doubled and tripled in Wisconsin because of these market distortions, these market reforms. Premiums have doubled and tripled. That's the mess we're talking about. Right. People can't even afford to buy coverage.
I hear you, but I think that you're doing a little bit of some versus all here. I read the Graham piece. He's talking about
pretty good piece.
But he's talking about economic inertia, essentially about what would have happened anyway. He never said it would have been even. He said that there were forces economically in play anyway, but those are temporary forces. And again, it wasn't an equivalency. Second of all, yes, there are premiums going up. There are good reasons and bad reasons for that, but they're not going up for everybody. You're talking about 0.05% of the population, about 1.7 million families. Way too many, has to be fixed. But this notion that all of it is a mess, that nobody's got better care, that nobody's gotten better costs, that's not true. Do you have to be more realistic about the politics to get anything done?
I didn't say there wasn't some benefit. Obviously, when
you did. Of course you did. You just said it's a huge mess.
I said it's a big mess. But obviously, when you spend tens of billions of dollars subsidizing care, people are going to like that. Here's part of the problem: because premiums have skyrocketed, as have out-of-pocket maximums and deductibles, a lot of people being subsidized in terms of insurance by the American taxpayer can't even use the insurance because the deductibles are so high. So on an individual basis, there's been a lot of harm done. People like Gina Sell, who was a mom working a part-time job, had to quit her part-time job in Wisconsin, go to full-time to pay for her $8,000 per year premium increase. That's the kind of harm.
Absolutely.
That's the big mess that's been created here. And Chris, we didn't have to remake the insurance markets. We didn't have to create this mess, cause premiums to skyrocket to take care of the uninsured. There was a lot simpler way of doing it. That's what we're trying to get back to. So from what I've been saying for 2 years now is we need to repair the damage caused by Obamacare and transition to a system that will actually work, that will fulfill those goals of restrained costs, better quality, better access. Obamacare didn't do that. The Affordable Care Act is not affordable. It didn't protect patients. It's been a big mess. We're trying to repair that damage. We're trying to fix that mess.
And we'll see how much of it you keep as a reflection of what is actually working despite the politics. Let me ask you two other things quickly. One, do you think that there's been somewhat of a reset with foreign policy talk from the administration on Iran, on Russia, on even the settlements in Israel?
I wouldn't call it a reset. Obviously, I think what I would call it is we are starting to address the world from a position of strength and resolve. And that's what's required. You achieve peace through strength, not peace through withdrawal as President Obama implemented it. So it's first about becoming economically strong so we can stop hollowing out our military, make our military strong, actually have a commitment to defeating ISIS, securing our border. This is a position of strength, and that's certainly what President Trump is conveying right now.
You were in Israel. You say there's a lesson about wall and border security that you learned there that we need to take back here?
Israel was had a real problem with illegal immigrants coming in from the southern border, about 16,000 in 1 year. In 2 years, they constructed a 143-mile fence, about $2.9 million per mile, and it cut that illegal immigration rate from about 16,000 to, I think, 18. Cut it by 99%. Fencing walls work. And so we need to learn the lessons from Israel. They are under a constant state of threat of terrorism. They've dealt with it pretty effectively. We need to learn those lessons.
Do you think it was just the wall that they put up, or do you think it was all the attendant changes they made into screening and their opportunities that they provided for people who were coming across to try to limit the need to sneak in?
Well, on the southern border, it was the fence. Within the whole of Israel, they've done all kinds of things in terms of security, cybersecurity at their airports, all kinds of different layered security measures. We need to do the same thing here, but fencing and walls work, particularly when they're constructed in the right areas and in the right way.
And in conjunction with other policies. Senator,
Absolutely.
I always appreciate you being in. You always make the case in beautiful fashion. Appreciate you being on.
Have a great day.